I want to share a story really quickly. I started getting into films around age 14. The channels I watched a lot: Ralph the Movie Maker, I Hate Everything, Your Movie Sucks, and of course, Chris Stuckman. Hearing them point out problems they had with the movie and the positives they have for the movie challenged my view on film and film criticism. It also encouraged me to see more of the content they made and the films they talked about on their channels. The first review that stuck out to me in particular from Ralph the Movie Maker was his review talking about the movie Moonlight from 2016, endlessly praising the movie. It intrigued me quite a bit. I saw films like 10 Cloverfield Lane, Don't Breathe, La La Land, but when I got around to watching Moonlight, I was so in love with the movie. That's where my endless love for films born. The YouTube movie reviewers I mentioned earlier shouted out platforms like IMDb and Letterboxd, which led me to make my account on these, logging what films I watched on those days, seeing what people have said about films and TV shows, and writing my own reviews. That kept me basically invested in seeking out more films I'd never seen before, getting recommended more, and hearing what people thought about what was being made. Then that very thought hit me. Besides the fact that I was making this for a class project. Oh, by the way, Professor Potter, this ain't an insult. This is a special shout out to you, my man. I started to see how these platforms have greatly affected media, how they've affected me, and have sparked a gigantic interest in film and utilizing it as a way to connect people and see how this connects to the industry of entertainment and its audience. So, let's jump into it.
I'm gonna read off my laptop. Looking at IMDb, the range of reviews is pretty gigantic. I read a scholarly article by Vivian Sobchak titled "Why I Heart IMDb." Two that she shared much later in her article about someone reviewing The Valley of the Dolls, and another thing stuck with me a lot for how very long and detailed and personal it was. I'll share a snippet of it. This movie is a true icon of my favorite decade, the 60s, in which I spent my childhood forever regretting I was too young to be a hippie or a swinger. Okay. I wasn't old enough to know what trash or camp was back then. As an adult, I never tire of laughing at this misguided but endlessly enjoyable mess. It pleases me to remember there was once a moment in time when I saw the film as a serious drama, as it was originally intended to be. These two stuck with me in terms of how much the reviewer wrote and what they included in their review. People write just kind of whatever they want in their reviews and feel free to express how they feel about the movie. I actually do that same thing with IMDb. More importantly, with this effect that IMDb has, I find it has a strong increase in literacy skills. And one thing that I remembered IMDb does for you is that it can relay information to you about the film and the people involved, making people more knowledgeable about what goes into the film and who's working on it, such as information like cast members, directors, composers, VFX artists. You can also click on those names and see what films that they were involved in, with a mini biography of the person. It's viewed in a similar way as Wikipedia, but not really meant to be a place for serious research. Yet, still used in scholarly circles and articles. One thing that I love is getting recommendations from other films, like TV shows, video games, to add to my watch list. And I also log on the check-in section of IMDb that operates kind of like a diary entry. And I've literally used this all the time. Whenever I was rewatching episodes of Friends, Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, and Across the Spider-Verse, favorite movies of all time. Kind of logging what I was watching that day and what I've knocked off my watch list. It's kind of become part of my daily routine. This part of IMDb makes me feel a lot more productive and professional with film. While IMDb has been around much longer and operates as a place for information most of the time, Letterboxd operates in that same way too, even if it's an app mainly limited to films, shorts, and miniseries, and operates in a similar way as a social media platform. It certainly makes me feel more engaged and interested in film, and it adds more of a sense of community and encourages more interest and active engagement in film as well. On that same topic, Letterboxd is also appearing to affect the film industry as it is continuing to grow more and more popular. With how well known it is and with how much it's being used, it's grown from 5 million users in 2021 to over 11 million at the end of 2023.
Because of its growing popularity, it's also being used by celebrities and brought up at red carpet premieres, with reporters asking them questions about it, and because of the top 4 film feature that people can display on their profile. Social media gives actors closer connections to their fan base and the general public, helping them build their platform. This publicity creates excitement and leads to more people discussing actors' soon-to-be-released films. The popularity of a movie's promotional content also allows film companies to gauge how successful a movie will be. Also worth mentioning, I have a surprising few amount of friends that also use this app as well. With the amount of silly reviews and serious reviews that are written and posted all over the app, and also that my friends post as well, this makes the app a lot more fun and entertaining to use. The way people write reviews on here are vastly different, and with this effect, it's caused a lot more people to become more critical of films. With how these platforms have affected media and film, it's also affected discussion of film and film criticism. I mentioned at the beginning my experience with watching film reviews on YouTube. There's a podcast that I actually listen to a lot called Sardonicast. One episode that sticks out to me is one of their earlier episodes where they talk about the importance of older films and how people engage with film. There's a point in the discussion of the topic that Alex mentions about how talking about film has felt like a book club and how people have learned to try and step out of their comfort zone of what films they would normally watch, try, and start somewhere, and their appreciation would normally grow and that people would learn more from film. One of the other guests, Ralph, also brought up how some films that were recommended he would probably never would have seen or even heard of unless someone brought it up. It also makes me think about how much film has changed throughout history. When films like A Trip to the Moon or Metropolis, seeing the way it was present in media and how people discussed it compared to right now, of course, it's obvious how much film has changed, but more so thinking about how much people actively engage with it and how it has changed media. I find myself learning a lot and seeing how important every aspect is in a film. A lot of my views on film have changed a lot since times that I have heard these 3 guys talk about whether a musical score of the film is good, sound design's over dramatic, or the acting is over the top, or the dialogue is poorly written. I find myself seeking these aspects a lot more and finding what is a flaw or what is a positive about the movie. That's also part of what works about discussing this in long-form content. The more we learn from the people talking and the more interaction we see between the people, we feel more soaked into what they're discussing. How I interact with IMDb and with Letterboxd, I think a lot about what I liked about the film that I saw and the problems that I have with the film, and I kind of factor that into what I have to write about in my reviews, and also what number rating to give the film. Some people might see a growing criticism in film as a bad thing, but I see this actively engages a lot more critical thinking when watching film. When people point out flaws and problems in reviews and in videos or in podcasts, I find this actively encourages people to focus more on those aspects in a film. Kind of like peer reviewing, like I got with this paper. I really think this has grown to become a huge advantage for the film industry and Letterboxd. The fact that people in the industry are using this platform, and film reviewers on YouTube use this as well. It further enhances the engagement of film and greatly benefits the number of people wanting to use this much more. Okay, so this is the last thing that I'm going to say. When trying to write this video essay, it made me realize that IMDb, Letterboxd, YouTube film reviews, and these podcasts more activate as a tool to engage the audience with film more, because film has done so much for my life and has changed me so much as a person. These tools kept my relationship with film intact. Film has helped me learn a lot about my life, find my personality and interests, discover interests, find my friends, and what I attach to my personality and my day-to-day life, and what films I haven't seen yet that I should check out. I hope to keep using these platforms and enjoying this content as long as I can, so I can keep my love and interest in film. I can keep finding more things to discover and share with people in my life. I've even gotten friends asking me if I use Letterboxd, and we follow each other. There's only so much that I can say within an 8-minute time frame of a video essay. Hey, I would love to say more, but I gotta make sure that I stay within the guidelines in this, and also I get my point across. I probably went over 8 minutes, that's for sure. I feel I got to share what I wanted to share with this topic, and I feel really happy that I got to share this. So thank you all so much for your time.